Hi, my name is Rita.
And I'm Iveta.
Welcome to the pilot episode of the DINER podcast.
Step inside and join us on our casual day-to-day talks about various interesting topics related to the artistic journey.
That's right, we hope to help creative people feel more in tune with the art community and share their own experiences with us here at the DINER.
So grab yourself some coffee and pie, get comfortable in your seat, and enjoy the show.
So, with no further ado, this is a very special podcast where two friends, two artists, are gonna talk about their artistic journey, their feelings, all sorts
Their
of...
struggles.
Yes, I forgot the main key point of our podcast. So, as you may guess, both of us are artists, allegedly. As far as you know, as far as we let you know. So, we're gonna introduce ourselves very quickly. My name is Rita, and on the interwebs, you also know me as Dark Taro.
And I'm Iveta, and my nickname is Iveto, which is just like a wee version of my real name. I'm not being very creative.
Very creative, yes. So, Iveta, what do you do? What is your profession?
Oh no, I'm a couch potato right now during the quarantine. No, honestly, I do digital art. I work in an outsourcing studio,
Oh
which
my.
is really fun since the work is like rotating all the time. There's no stagnation. So for me, like personally, I found it really fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I see. Well, I'm
What about
also...
you?
Well, I'm a mixed artist, mixed martial artist. Right now I'm a full-timer at a game company, but I also have my own personal art things going on. And by the way, guys, if you want to check out like the proof of us being artists, we will provide links to our social medias and whatever in the description below.
Yeah.
Anywho, struggle, artists, feels. We're all about this shit. I will try to say shit less. We're all about this sensitive stuff, right, guys? So you can guess the first topic that we want to talk about, and I just want to remind you guys that this podcast is a very laid back thing, right? It's just like meeting your friends, your artist friends, and you just want to talk about whatever is in your mind, whatever is on your mind. So, we're not claiming to be experts of anything, right? We just want to sort of express our experiences, express our feelings, tell you about our stories, our points of view, the stuff we learned, the mistakes we've made.
Yes. And tell each other about all of that because I feel like personally I need a lot of therapy
Oh
with
my.
art. It's no, not like that. I'm talking about just talking it out. You
Mm.
feel way better even if you're like saying it to someone and that someone will not like give you the right answer
Mhm.
or maybe they're just listening, right? You still will feel better about the problem that you're having because you talked it out, right?
Mhm.
And I feel really great when I hear someone else having the same problem.
Mm.
So I feel maybe like the more problems we're talking about that we're having, right? The more chances that someone can relate to it.
So yeah, basically, if you guys have any questions for us, if you guys want us to talk about a topic of some sort, you can always ask us on Twitter or you leave us a comment on YouTube, and we would love to hear what you want us to talk about. Yeah.
Right, and any feedback as well. We're
Mm.
just starting out. We're two friends having fun, so any feedback is great. You know, right now the equipment, of course, is like really low, but we're working on it.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, our whole huge management team is gonna collect your responses. You know. So yeah, without any further ado, these podcasts are gonna be mainly in English. We are Lithuanian, by the way, and we might have episodes in Lithuanian as well. So
Right.
maybe if you ask us for episodes in Lithuanian, maybe we'll have this double encouragement to do those.
And yeah, if you're interested, just keep listening.
Mhm. Yeah.
Today's topic, I thought about it
Mhm. She
since it's
did.
like I'm sorry. I've been nagging her with this thing. It's just that like currently everyone knows what is happening. We don't even have to like name the C word,
Mm-mm.
but
Let's not name it's like a it's a nasty word. Let's not.
yes. But we are in lockdown, as many countries are as well.
Mhm.
And in Lithuania right now it's happening till, well, currently they're saying they extended it to May, the beginning of May, but it's most likely gonna be extended a little more. I even
Mm.
heard that in Italy they're planning to keep the quarantine until the end of the year,
Whoa.
which really means that we will have to like deal with this situation right now, like learn to live with it, right?
Yeah, like let's just say whenever you have to travel, cancel a travel plan, and they can refund your money, for example, just in cash, or they can give you like a money that you can spend on your further travels through that company per se. But you can only spend it for trips starting with December 2021. So
Oh my god.
that says how forward thinking the world is about this situation. But we artists, we experience it in a way, of course we experience it as all people experience it in a pretty anxious way. But as artistic individuals, I think we face the problems we face are a little bit different because it's all about the work we make. It's all about the beauty we want to bring to the
Yeah,
world. Yeah.
we live and breathe with what we do, right? And
Mhm.
if suddenly there's like no motivation for many reasons, we might seem to be like isolated, not like physically but like mentally, right? We stop creating in general.
Mhm.
And it might feel really isolating in a sense also that you don't know how everyone else is dealing with it because you cannot go to a cafe and chat with your friends about it, right?
Mhm.
All you can do is like call each other like we're doing right now and
Yeah.
just try and talk it out, maybe like make a podcast with it.
Maybe just make a podcast about it. Why
Yeah,
not?
no big deal.
So the issue is of like how are artists dealing with this isolation? This is probably the topic of the day. So I want to start this topic by asking you, Iveta, how are you feeling? Like, what's up? How have you been doing these past few months?
Right. Well, I've not, I will say it like it is. I'm not doing really well. I cannot like be mad at myself too much because a lot of is happening, but at the same time, I'm this person who likes to do a lot of stuff. I'm always like running, I'm always doing everything that I feel like I want to do, and
Mhm.
usually it's like a lot of different things as well. And suddenly you're like inside the your house all the time. I'm quarantining alone, by the way, so I think it really adds up to it
Mm.
because I'm like almost always alone. I don't think delivery men count as like friends.
Yeah, they
But
just leave your stuff and they run away very quickly.
yeah, like today someone dropped a package for me
Mm.
and all I saw was like their tiny head peeping out like through the staircase bars. I don't know how to say
This is where we come to. The tiny peeping head of the delivery man
it.
is
Yeah.
the most intimate thing you see of other
And all I
people.
could say to him was like thanks. That was all I could have said to him, you know?
Hmm.
It's not really a conversation.
So how
um
I don't want to sound like a psychologist, but
but
how do you describe how does it affect your art?
I don't think I do any more of it. Like I don't do personal art.
Mm.
With work, I'm okay. I just sit for a bit. Like I'm less productive, I agree, because I like slack off a bit more, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I sit longer hours, so at the end of the day, I think it's like still the same work that I would do in like a shorter time.
Mm.
But with like personal stuff, I stopped doing it at all.
Oh.
For me, I feel like I'm really disciplined. And
Mm-hmm.
before like the quarantine and everything, I was just like, I need to do it and I'm doing it because I know that it will be better if I do it now, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I will feel better about it. But now it's not that you're not like inspired to do it. You just feel like it's better if you don't. I don't know if it makes sense. You're in a tough space head wise right now.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of feels like you don't want to push yourself too much, so you end up not doing it. And then, of course, you're like regretting it. but you're trying to justify yourself, you know?
Mm. So it's
Really weird.
So it's like, you're having a hard time. So in a way, you're trying to maybe soothe yourself and be like, I'm not, like, I won't be hard on myself. I won't try as hard.
Right, because
Yeah.
that's what everyone tells you on YouTube or whatever. I watch a lot of vloggers. All they say is like you shouldn't worry right now.
Mhm.
Like a lot of them started like even on this online festival playgrounds. I watched it and all of the people they were artists, they were giving lectures and a lot of them were like saying that like don't worry, it's fine, it will pass and like you shouldn't push yourself too hard and shit, but I don't know if like it doesn't make me feel better. It just I don't even want to like do anything at all. That's
Mhm.
that's probably like a red flag or something,
So
but
you don't want to do anything at all, and you sort of
yeah,
getting these people, these artists that you look up to, saying you don't have to push yourself.
right.
Just kind
And you
of,
know that they are doing stuff, right?
yeah.
You know that they're like
I think they're saying.
still at it.
I just want to. I think they're saying a bit of a different thing. And with this, I just want to be the elephant in the room to say that quarantine did not affect me creatively. I know.
Right, that's good. I know some people who are like you and I need to know how.
And yeah, that's the thing. I When you told me about this topic, I really wanted to hear what you had to say. I was really concerned and I really wanted to know your feels and
Right.
stuff. And I also felt a bit bad, and I do feel bad about I have very good circumstances in life, and this is where we talk about why people can't create. And I think one of the reasons is the anxiety of what's to come next, right?
Mhm.
I think this anxiety of like, what's the point?
The anxiety of like the unknown,
Yeah.
loss of meaning to your work.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
for me personally, financial anxiety is not there. I still have a job. I know a lot of art creatives lost their jobs. So I can't even imagine what kind of feeling is that when you have no idea how you're gonna pay your rent. Because before I got a proper full-time job, I had this anxiety about my finances, and it's a strong feeling, you know.
Mhm.
So before you can get creative and you have to sort of figure out your basic needs. And I think that a good living, a way to feed yourself, the basic survival things are very important for you to open up to more of a creative thinking, I feel like.
Yeah, that's the pyramid of needs, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the pyramid of needs. So when we talk about anxiety, we need to understand the root of it. Why are people worried? Why they can't find the emotional place to create something beautiful? So for me, I don't have this anxiety. You said you live alone, like, right? And
Mhm.
I have a housemate. I think me and my housemate even connected a bit more due to quarantine because we didn't have that many people to talk to, so we would talk a bit more than usual to each other. So I wasn't completely isolated when it comes to talking, and I can say that this is where I'll tell you a lot of stuff that I heard from different places. But and I'll give a link to a podcast. I think it was called The Art of Happiness, something to do with that. But I'll give a proper title to it in the description, where they were talking about just the connection with people, the connection you get just being with people. You don't
That's
even
true.
have to talk to a person. The loneliness, the aspect of not being around people, is a very serious issue because of our
Yeah,
biology.
even for introverts like me, right?
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like I'm really okay with being by myself,
Mhm.
but every once in a while I get this like sadness, yeah,
Mhm.
the loneliness part, which is it is normal. I do not feel that it is the reason for me like getting hit by the quarantine so hard,
Mhm.
but it definitely adds up to it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that piece, and these are very subtle things. These are things that you don't have them, like maybe some people do have like very severe anxiety attacks. Maybe some people have like very severe, feeling of loneliness. These things can be very severe, but if in general you're used to being quite alone, you have your friend circle. I'm describing myself right now. Where you
I thought you were describing me.
well, both of us, I suppose. I'm an extrovert. You would I would, I would what you would call an extrovert. But I really enjoy my alone time as well. So yeah, these little things they add up. So yeah, anxiety is probably the core root of these feelings, these negative feelings
Yeah.
that we have right now. And since I don't have like issues, financial issues, I don't have. I talk to at least someone. It really helps to bring these negative feelings down. However, I'll tell you what, the thing that does affect me is me not being close to nature, because I really love nature. I listen to nature sounds. I'm that person who listens to nature sounds. um I'm that person that will go to the woods. Like if we meet up, I talk about how I want to go to the park, how I want to go to the woods.
It is needed for a creative person, I think.
mm,
At least a simple park.
yeah, and
But
just
the thing is,
mm,
we're not locked down here like in Italy when
no,
you get fined for going outside. We can go outside, but wear a mask. Be really careful
yeah,
for like fresh air or like a
yeah,
jog in the park. So it isn't the reason either. I think
mhm,
you're right with the anxiety part because I'm a planner. I always plan ahead. I had all of 2020 planned already when it
mhm,
was January, which sounds crazy, but it's the way that my brain functions.
yeah,
And so to have the huge uncertainty, which is not, you cannot change it, you cannot do anything about it except
mm,
change your attitude towards it,
mm.
You literally have to deal with it. So, yeah.
I think this is where I will segue to how to deal with things and what can help you, Iveta, to maybe deal with your issues about like planning, having a lot of plans. I totally connect with you, girl, on this
Girl.
topic.
Hell
I
yeah,
hell
girl.
yeah, girl. I also plan like my life and whatever for the future. But at the same time, since I plan so much, I also tend to screw up my plans a lot. So I'm so used to plans screwing up. I'm so used to screwing up my routine. I love making a routine. I love setting up a routine. I love writing it down, and
Yes.
then I love following it, and then I love failing. I don't love failing following it, but I just fail. But then I stand up and I do it again. Like I'm that kind of person
A
who
creature of habit.
creature of habit, but also creature that I can't give up. I just there's some kind of a bug inside of me. If I'm just sad, I'll sometimes I get really sad, really upset about something. I want to lay on my bed, I want to cry, and sometimes I do. I lay on my bed and cry, and then I'm like, okay, I've done that.
Yeah, it's a healthy thing to do. We
Yeah,
should.
but then
I don't think everyone talks about it enough. Like everyone imagines that other people just don't cry.
yeah, that part of me is normal, just that I personally don't do that for a long time. It's a very short period.
Yeah, me neither. I usually just sleep on it.
Sleep on it, yes, you just kind of rest on it, and then suddenly like, okay, I'm writing my notes. It's like the Sisyphus, right? The guy who rolls the boulder. Is
Yeah.
he Sisyphus? Whatever his name is. I'm sorry. I will mispronounce so many things on these podcasts. So yeah, I'm just rolling that boulder, it falls down, and I'm rolling it again. And part of me understands this inevitability of everything just being destroyed, and part of me understands that I will just start rolling that boulder again. I can't stop rolling that stupid boulder. And I think this is the thing that stops me from feeling bad about my plans falling apart, because I know that I'll just keep rolling the boulder, man. I just it's sad. It's kind of like it's cool, but it's also like what the fuck. This is where I want to talk about a bit of a solution thing and a recommendation. I think I wasn't always like this. This is the part when I'll be like, okay, I wasn't always like this, now I have my gold, I have my riches, my ladies or whatever, but I wasn't always like that. But then, I got this peel. But I really got into philosophy, especially Eastern philosophy, and I got into a guy named Alan Watts. I think that,
I know of him.
have you listened to his stuff?
Yeah, some of it, yeah.
So,
A long time ago.
oh my God, it's the perfect, guys, it's the perfect time for you to listen to Alan Watts because
Really? Okay.
his soothing British voice, he's sort of, he's sort of laughter from time to time. He goes like, I mean, can't repeat this laughter, but he has this, just his voice. It makes me cry sometimes, just because he is. I'm a person who's. I'm not like I'm the person who's pushing this boulder. I'm not. I have no chill, right? I don't know. Maybe you're also a bit of a no chill person. I don't know. What is your chill levels?
I don't know. I just do what I have to do. I think so far I've been just grinding, getting the bread. Yeah. That's why like this is really unfamiliar for me, and
Mm.
this is the first time that I actually have to deal with it.
You know what? I'm having this a bit of a revelation because I've had a worse moment in my life. This is definitely like the worst moment in my life was when it's the first year of uni. It's the first time I've traveled abroad alone to study in the UK. So I'm studying 3D animation and visual effects. I only got the loan for the studies. I had to earn money for my apartment and I need to find a job. And I just came here and our course is very, very difficult. There's so much, like, I've never heard of 3D properly in my life. And suddenly I'm clashed with all this new information, right? And at the same time, I have to think about finding work because if I won't find work in 3 months, I will have to go back home. And also on top of that, I'm in this long distance relationship, and that thing is also falling apart bit by
Holy.
bit. So
Must have been really hard. It sounds terrible.
it sounds like I was have. This is the time when I was having night terrors. This is the time where I would fall asleep and I would have like just these chaotic visions of chaos, like even sound. And you wake up, you want to go back to sleep, and you have this chaos again, right?
Mm.
And and at the time where you fall asleep like on the couch and you have these night terrors of you feel like someone is in the room. So I had those. This is the type of stress we're talking about. I would go out, like I would have to miss lectures because I would go out to give out my CVs everywhere, and I didn't even have job experiences at that point. I was just so fresh, new country. It was the worst. I remember that I was just my theme song was Lady Gaga's song.
Which one was it? Like the
Marry the Night. It was Lady Gaga's Marry the Night.
Oh.
I would listen to this song and I would think how I would get through this.
Mhm.
This is where
I mean, you did. So it is
yes.
great.
And when I hear the song right now, I know that I got through this. So I've been through this shit. Of course, I came out
Really proud of you.
no, but I came from uni being very cynical. I remember my friends told me you became a very cynical. um, this made me like super whatever, man. But yeah, this experience and all those past experiences that I've had in my life made me interested in all that Asian philosophies, Alan Watts and shit. And the stuff he talks about is the soothing stuff of how life is very unexpected, and for us to expect comfort all the time, it's an impossibility. It
Yeah.
just it won't be like this. So, and the analogies that he was talking about, and I think Bruce Lee as well. I was listening to a podcast about Bruce Lee. I listen to a lot of
Oh,
podcasts.
Bruce Lee sounds so funny.
He
Like,
does.
I'm sure he
When he
used to
talks, yeah.
be normal at the time, but now
Yeah.
he's just like, be one with water.
Yeah.
Make the voice.
But that's the point I wanted to make. Be one with water. And it is such a beautiful and strong metaphor of like how water just finds a way. If you just make a path for water, it doesn't stop, like Alan Watts said. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. It doesn't start shaking and be like, oh, what do I do? What do I do? Where do I go? It just goes, runs through the path, right? So the interesting talks, I think they're called like there are a ton of Alan Watts talks on YouTube. There was something about relax your mind. And this is where I want to segue to us as an artist. How do we perceive ourselves? Like, do you like a more of a scientific feel of yourself? or a more of a spiritual one?
I think I'm both of them.
Mm.
I'm really contradicting myself all the time.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know how real the personality tests are, but
Oh,
I
what's your
do
oh,
feel
what's your
right. Mine is
yeah, TJ, right?
INFJ. Right.
FJ.
FJ.
You know, because I had a like okay, I was really into those in the past, so I still have
Yeah,
a
they're
habit.
so fun to get into.
Yeah, I have this stupid habit now of guessing people's personality types still.
What's yours, by the way?
I thought you were INTJ, so I got it wrong. I got one letter. I am ENFJ.
Okay.
Yes, I'm that.
So we're pretty much the same, but introvert and extrovert.
You're my mom's personality type. Ugh.
Oh, really?
Yes. No, I love you,
I mean,
mom.
I don't know how real it is because apparently, like the test can like get it wrong,
Mhm.
but I've taken it many times and every time I got the same one. So I guess
Same.
I'm that one. I don't know, but yeah, it does say that it is also feeling and like more like a scientific judgment kind of thing,
Mhm.
as well as like feeling everything out, being creative.
So for me as well, like I love science, but I also like this sort of the spiritual, the feelings, the creative way of describing us as people. And that's what Alan Watts' talk was about. I think it was that relax your mind was that he was criticizing how science can make everything a bit too tight, too raw, too like mechanical maybe.
Yeah.
And he was also talking about how we don't in our talk, in our speech, we don't really refer to ourselves in such a mechanical way, like we are hello homo sapien, you know, like we use words, we use more artistic vocabulary to describe ourselves. However, as he also mentioned, it's important to understand ourselves as these mechanisms with on and off switches, right? Even though you don't have to think about it this way, you don't have to refer to your loved ones this way, but you can take that to your advantage. How do you think we can take this to our advantage? That we as species basically react to our feelings are just chemical reactions, right?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of artists, a lot of people in general, think that if I feel bad, that means that me, Rita, there's probably something wrong with me as a person. Do you have this feeling?
Um, I don't I don't think so.
Mm.
I mean, I'm sure that I have like some kind of similar feeling, I
Mm.
guess, because we're kind of wired the same
Mm.
unless some happy accidents happen. But I think that I don't judge myself for like feeling the way I feel.
Mm.
I just am not happy that I am in this situation where I cannot fix it.
Mm.
And I think I just have to like find a way out of it, honestly. Also, I kind of dropped doing the yoga things in the morning.
Mm.
And
We'll
I
talk
also
about the yoga things. Well, we'll
I
talk about them.
and I did a lot of stuff like this, right? I skipped on like washing the dishes every day.
Mhm.
I didn't do laundry for a while. I think that kind of got me like into this sort of like
Spiral.
dark cloud thing, and it
Mhm.
kind of got worse from there. That's why like last week was probably my worst week ever
Oh
because I
my.
had a few breakdowns. I don't get breakdowns that often.
Mhm.
I'm just lucky, I guess, but I had a few of them. And over this weekend, I tried to like, okay, I didn't like push myself, right? But I did the
Mhm.
things that I had to do. In like I washed the dishes, I did every chore that I had to do.
Mhm.
But I also tried to take like really tiny steps. So like I did the dishes, I went to like lay on bed,
Mhm.
because I don't during this time I don't want to do anything as in not only art related. I don't want to do like I don't want to game, I don't want to read a book, and I
Mhm.
don't want to watch Netflix. I just don't want any of that. Sometimes
Mhm.
like even listening to Spotify just irritates me.
Mhm.
So I just have to like get up from my chair and walk to the window just to like I don't know, look outside and like see
Mhm.
the beautiful trees. But right now everything is blooming.
Mhm.
I think that kind of uplifts my mood. Also, I saw someone with whom like I spent the weekend,
Mhm.
and I feel like maybe that helped. because today I feel like really freaking productive,
Oh,
which is
nice.
which is weird because I did the dishes today before I had a pile of them, you know? I
Mhm.
didn't let my chores and other things stack up. So I think I will try to stick with it because I think in the long run it will help me get into something that will make a new sort of routine for like the situation that I'm
Mhm.
in right now.
And this is where your negative experiences are a very good thing. That's the thing. I don't know. Do you think about your negative experiences as a very positive thing often?
Of course, it is a
Mhm.
learning curve. If I didn't go through this now, I wouldn't know how to deal with it if I was in like a tougher situation.
Mhm.
Because yes, I am also fortunate to still have a job, you know,
Mhm.
being able to work from home. But maybe, you know, in the future I won't have that, but then I will kind of know what to expect
Mhm.
and not feel that lost, you know? Because
So,
no one is talking about this.
mhm.
I don't, everyone like on YouTube, everywhere, they're like, I know this is hard for you, don't feel down, but it sort of doesn't go into like
Mhm.
a deeper, I don't know, mindset exploration,
Mhm.
which kind of would help you more. But yeah.
Now, I did have a couple of breakdowns myself during quarantine, but they're not quarantine related.
You would think they're not.
I'll tell you they're not because I have these this is a repetitive curve that I have. It all comes about it's about my identity, it's about my art. It's just
Oh,
a
those are the best ones. Oh my
yeah.
god.
But these are common things. That's the thing. This is not like
Yes.
something, oh my god, like I've never had this before. No, no, no. But these relate to a thing that I wanted to segue when it comes to thinking of yourself as a spiritual being, but also thinking of yourself as a hardwired machine, bro. Because
Bro.
and this is the thought that really kicks my butt because movement. I think movement is key to solving a lot of issues that people
Like
have. A lot of
physical movement?
exactly physical
Right.
movement that brings your heart rate up. I will link, of course, you can find TED Talks yourself on YouTube, but I will link a few of those, especially one. And also, there's a good video of there's a channel called What I've Learned. I think they've made a video about it, about how movement affects our brains. It is
Yeah.
phenomenal, right? And it's just not just stretching, but basically what is stress? Like I'm not gonna get into super deep, but basically since we're enduring stress differently than we did like thousands of years ago, right? Our society evolved, but we're still the same sort of being that was created by the evolution, right? And we still have the same anatomical responses to things. But basically, movement not only creates new brain cells, literally new brain cells, but movement helps us to decrease stress a lot. Only thinking like when you're stressed, like you used to be stressed because someone's trying to hunt you down, and you have to, and then your body releases like adrenaline and cortisol, and you need to sort of run away from the predator.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you do a physical activity, this is how our bodies are wired, basically. That once you do a physical activity, your body automatically lowers the levels of cortisol. It lowers your stress. This is how it's formed. You get stressed,
Yeah.
you do physical activity, your stress goes down. But nowadays we get stressed, we don't do physical activity. We're just sitting there stressed all the time. Like ah, and watching these, getting into the information that you get about how our body works, suddenly you're mind blown of how many things that you can do to control these feelings that you have, right? It's not just a thing that happens, it's a thing that you can revert. It's you can make yourself happy by doing like a mini exercise. And
I hate this thing, but I have to agree.
that's the thing. That's the thing. And talking about how make habits feel nice is a completely different topic.
Yeah.
But movement, guys, movement and
It does help. I agree. I before the quarantine, I don't do workouts, but I
mm,
was walking a lot.
especially
I
like
was walking everywhere.
fast pace. It should be something that increases your heart rate.
Also stairs.
Yeah,
Many stairs.
stairs are great. Another thing I want to talk about, which is a video that I've seen. There's a channel called Philosophy Tube. Have you heard of it?
No.
And literally on Saturday, I watched a video and they made a video about creating during quarantine as well. It was about beauty in ugly times. So, and in that video, this guy Oliver Thorne, yeah, so he talks about reviews of two books basically, where there's a lot of comparisons of beautiful things and ugly things. And basically, the conclusion really is of how people tend to, even in the most ugliest moments, bring up beautiful things, like on funerals, right? It's a sad moment, but we bring flowers, for example, as a reminder of of life and of beauty. So I feel like in these times, in these unsettling times, in these ugly times, it is important to focus on the now. Focus on just
Focus on the beauty, right? That's a
yeah.
really good point. I never thought about that. See,
Mm.
this is why it's great to talk it out because you can find new things you can put into your head and
Yeah.
walk around with that thought like
Mhm.
going through your head for like a few weeks and then talk again and then
Mm.
have new thoughts because if you keep on having the same thoughts, you start making up scenarios which are
Oh yeah.
really bad.
Thoughts are super powerful. So the more you think about how miserable you are, the more it'll become a routine in your mind.
It will become a reality,
Yeah,
basically.
basically. I mean, it sounds silly, but when people say nice things to yourself, it's no joke. It works.
All right.
Bit
So
by
there
bit.
you have it, guys. Yeah, you have to focus on the beauty
Yeah.
because during these hard times, art is the beauty, one of the spheres of the beauty. Also, on a lighter note, I would
Mhm.
like to talk about our own working from home routines.
Oh
do
my.
you do you have anything that you specifically do? Could you walk us through your day?
I wake up. I'm trying to make a better sleepy schedule for myself. Basically, I want to wake up very, very early so I can go run where there are not people around. On Saturday, I woke up at 5:30 to go for a run at
Oh my
6.
god.
Yeah, but it's a work in progress routine. Let's just say that I wake up. Preparing for this talk, I've watched so many videos that it brought that light in me to I need to exercise more and stuff. And I do, and it works. I wake up, I do a 10-minute Bollywood dance workout. No
Oh my
joke.
god, is that a thing on YouTube?
Yes, I will
Link in the description.
link in the description. It's great. It's great. It's just 10
I want to
minutes.
try that.
It's just 10 minutes, and there's a version like it's from Pop Sugar Fitness, and they always have like people who do the normal version, and then you have the version for beginners, right? So if you can't jump as much as they do, there's a gal there and this on the side who does the chill version. So I do
Yeah.
that. I do that. I also these days um okay, I'm doing cold showers. It's a thing that I was doing before quarantine. I'm doing this no stop now for more than 2 months.
Do you wanna explain me why do people do that? Because I don't know, like three of my friends started doing that just
Mm.
randomly. I thought that maybe it was like a quarantine challenge or something, but apparently they're just doing it
It
randomly.
uh when it comes to studies, there are no proper conclusive studies of the effects of cold showers. We need like more really nice conclusive studies for it. But in general, if you've heard of stuff like Wim Hof Method,
No.
another thing to add to the description, but
What is that? Can you
oh, I will take
describe it?
forever. Basically, Wim Hof is a guy, he's called the Iceman, and he is known for being able to withstand very cold temperatures for
Oh
long
my god, I
periods of
know
time.
him. He was in the Gwyneth Paltrow show.
Yes, yes, he was. He was the
The weird,
only. Yeah, he was
the
the.
weird Dutch guy.
He was the only thing that made sense for me from that weird
Really?
show.
Okay. He was so weird.
He's a strange man. I'm not saying like when you listen, but the stuff he does makes sense because he works with scientists. He's not working alone and saying this bullshit. He works with scientists
Okay.
that conduct studies with him, and he's not the only person who was able to do it. Like his students and stuff were able to sort of go out in the cold with him. So what they say, it improves your immune system. It reduces the inflammatory effects of your body basically, and it wakes you up. So
Okay.
for me, it's better than coffee. If you're anxious, take a cold shower, bruh.
Yeah, coffee makes your anxiety go through the
Yeah,
roof.
yeah, yeah. I rarely
Shouldn't
drink.
should avoid coffee if you're anxious.
Yeah, I get anxious from coffee. I drink coffee when usually when I'm chill and when I feel like because of the taste. Not it's not my routine at all.
Mhm. Okay.
Cold showers after that workout. And the way I do cold showers, by the way, I'm not that extreme person who basically dismantles the hot pressure, the hot water thingy, right? Some people do that. No, no, no. I start with a nice, pleasant, warm shower, and then I move to cold. Like the end is very cold. Like the
Okay,
coldest.
he's into it.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, in the beginning you feel that, oh my god, it's cold, oh my god, but in the end, you still feel the cold. You will never stop feeling the cold. Never. You're a human, right? But you get used to the cold. You understand the cold. I will sound very weird right
You
now.
become the cold.
You even start to enjoy the cold. It's a bit
Right.
unpleasant, but you know you're gonna feel refreshed, and you feel refreshed afterwards. And
So okay,
yeah,
let's go back to your daily
yep.
routine.
I used to. That's the thing. The cold showers, you understand that they're good for you. You feel great. You have this inner understanding. But in the past, I would maybe skip a day of showers. But maybe it's not because I don't want to take cold showers. Also because I feel like I don't have time. Let's skip. I'm busy. But these days, I'm trying to take a shower every day only because it really helps with my self esteem and dealing with basically just being at home all the time. Because when you went to work, you would dress up nicely, you would take a shower, you would brush your hair nicely. So that's what I'm doing right now for me, for
So
myself
some
every
people
day.
do that during quarantine.
Yeah, and I started doing that as
I
well.
can't be bothered, but some people you did? You
Yeah,
really? Okay.
I'm doing that now, and it makes a difference, you know? It does.
For me, I dress up comfortably anyway, so
Mm,
like sometimes I go with like my pajama tops to work, so I don't think it
okay.
like switches anything. And with the makeup, I kind of stopped doing it because I want my skin to rest. So
Mm.
like,
Well, I don't do makeup anyway, so it's it
you're
wasn't.
beautiful the way you
I'm
are.
beautiful. It's true. Anyways, and I have my breakfast and I start working. And the thing about work for me that made a difference is that I have a work computer for work stuff. And once the work is done, I switch it off. And I have my personal laptop where I do my personal art on.
Yeah.
And there is this emotional disconnect. Of course, imagine if we had separate rooms for work and separate rooms to rest. Ideally, it's nice to have spaces. It's even nice to have a space to study, right? To work, you go to work, you have a space to study. We don't have this luxury, maybe some of us do. Just having just the separation of a work computer and a personal computer, I feel like makes a difference for me in my habit, in my routine. Suddenly, my shift, my emotional shift changes. I do procrastinate. I do. It happens.
One does. Everyone is guilty of that.
Yeah, I do. Like lunches take longer for me, but the food I eat is better now because I don't eat out. Not because because I love to cook. Okay, I love to cook. I love to know what I put in my mouth. I love to have measured meals. Because at work, when you used to maybe go out with friends to lunch, and then you get some weird noodles or whatever, you know. However, a very big part of my routine nowadays is to watch my time and to make sure that I do work at my work time and I do rest at my rest time. I don't always succeed. I fail a lot. I have to repeat myself. I fail a lot. Because when I talk to people about my routines, for some reason, they automatically connect to, like, that's what she's doing. Oh my God. Like, no. But I have to tell you guys that it's not that this progression of like building your routine, we're into building routines now a bit quickly. It's not like, yeah, one day I fail and then I stand back and then suddenly my whole week goes well. Like sometimes your whole week goes well, sometimes you fail and then this failure continues for a couple of weeks until you get back on top of yourself and then you rebuild your routine again. It's very varied, it's very blah. So yeah, and I always try to find time for my personal art because it's my soul, it's my passion there. It's where my frustrations are as well, the biggest frustrations. But if I'm failing, I'm always pushing myself. This is where you have to push. This is where you have to not give up. So yeah, and then before bed, I'm trying to create this routine. Well, an hour before bed, I will have preparations just for sleep, because it's so important to have like the first hour of your day and the last hour of your day are very, very important, where you start to prepare your body to go to sleep.
I actually just wanted to ask you one thing. Did you work from home before, or is this like the first time that you're doing it?
It's not the first time that I'm doing it, because before I
Okay,
got.
so you kind of had some experience with it, right?
Yeah, but it's not full time. Like, it was doing freelance, so it's a bit different because you make up your hours, so it's even more chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Because with this kind of work, you're expected to work from this and this time period. Your team is working at this and this time period.
Yes.
And with freelance, it's a bit more whatever. I can take a day off today, you know. What is your routine, Iveta? How do you pass this quarantine day? Tell us.
For me, it's just really simple. At first, I was like scared kind of because I tried working from home 3 or 4 years ago
Mhm.
when I had to. I was in another country for a bit and I sort of had to work from home.
Mhm.
And I really hated it. I didn't have like a separate space for work, separate space for like sleeping and lounging. So it was a bad experience. And
Mm.
I thought that if I start working from home right now, it will be the same. But to
Mhm.
my surprise, it wasn't that bad.
Oh.
And I sort of just got into it. Like I woke up and I started like doing work. I did the work and I went to like do whatever else, you know. So it
But
was weird for me.
why do you think
That
that? Is it because your job is different, or because you've grown as a person?
I'm not sure, probably because my job is more interesting. It
Mm.
should be definitely that, but also just I guess I over the years I got way better with my discipline.
Mhm.
I got up and did it,
Mhm.
So yeah, but at first I started doing yoga in the mornings.
Mhm.
I wake up, I wash my face, brush my teeth.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just get a coffee. I've been using my fancy ass coffee maker
Oh yeah.
machine
I
thing.
got some cocoa from that machine.
Yeah. And then I start working.
Mm.
I just start working after the work that I do. I get up from the computer and I don't know, I either like go work on the commissions that I have or other personal projects if I'm still not a zombie after the work, because we do have some deadlines right now.
Mhm.
Our work did not stop. We actually probably got even more orders and everything that we have to do right now.
Yeah, people during quarantine times, the first thing that I've heard is like, "Oh, what am I gonna do with all this free time?" And for me, nothing has changed. I still don't have free time.
Yeah, I don't have free time either. I don't know what they're talking about.
I
Maybe
know.
some people are on paid leave in that case,
Maybe.
like, or if they were forced to take vacation or if they were laid off,
Mm.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
maybe in that case. But, like, I think people who are still working the same way that they did before,
Yeah.
it kind of saves some time from like going out. Like now I just get
Mm.
my groceries delivered, right? I just have to like
Oh,
order it
really?
online.
You don't go to the shop yourself? I
No,
do.
I don't.
I go for the whole family, as they say. Like for me and my housemate, I just go go to the front lines. But it's an interesting thing that you mentioned about your routine is that you find the time to go out. It's very important, I think. And since we're not prohibited to do that,
You gotta wear a mask.
yes, of course, wear a mask. We in Lithuania, that's the thing, we're not prohibited to go out. It's good that you mentioned that finding time for important things. Because a lot of people say, I don't have time for X and Y. But you do. You just need to find that time. You just
You
need to,
always have time for stuff. Yeah, I
yeah,
agree. You just have to make time for it,
yeah.
because you're spending that time somewhere else, which is maybe making you unhappy.
Yeah, that's why I use the term now. I couldn't find the time. I don't say I don't have time anymore. I say I couldn't find time. So, in these stressful, anxious times, I think to conclude our podcast a little bit by bit, is that I think it is about focus on things that are the most important for us. It's important to talk to someone. And it's not just a wish-washy thing to say. It's just us human beings, we're social beings. You have to, if you can't meet someone face to face, if your country does not allow it, you can call a person, you know. Of course, there's a whole issue of FaceTiming right now when people are doing it too much and on the same device. where you have I read an article, maybe I'll find it again and post it in the description, where since we're doing everything, we're doing personal chats and work chats on the same device, on the same app, it creates a lot of strain for us as well. That's the thing, these little things, you know, so it's good to step away from your working computer, and maybe call someone by phone or something like that, you know. Finding time to move.
Limit yourself to reading the news.
When you tidy up and just clean your dishes, you create a nicer environment for yourself. So tidy up your desk. Get yourself, we're into planting plants now, right? As well.
Yeah, we began, but we actually, I mean, we started gardening before the quarantine. I didn't know this was gonna happen.
You started it. Yeah, and I saw Iveta's plants, and I just, something, maybe because I'm getting old, something just struck me, and I was like, oh, I need to start my own mini garden.
Keep in touch with your home people.
Maybe your friends are going through a tough time. Just ask people how they feel. Surround yourself with beautiful things. Create beautiful things. Because at the end of the day, we artists, we're not doing useless things. Art makes people happy. And it doesn't have to be cute and beautiful. Dark art makes people happy. Like, dark art makes me happy.
It's more about art makes people feel something.
Yeah.
Not necessarily happiness, but just it could inspire, it could like make person sad, it could make a person reflect on something.
If you can't do something for yourself that can make you feel better, do something with other people in mind. Like we're doing this podcast. Maybe you, with your artwork, with your words, with any of your creative expression, maybe you're a musician, I don't know, that you can make people feel things and feel a bit better about all this. On this note, I think we talked it all. So yeah, thank you very much for listening.
Thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Stay safe.